Daniel Rose's Sex God Method. And you know what? More power to you. If you get this book and you have these skills, no other dude is going to compare. Bottom line. And that's how you keep the girl, and that's how you keep her honest. That's how you keep her faithful.
But I discovered that everything that made me good in bed could be reduced to 4 things. I call these the 4 principles of sexuality. Okay? First principle, psychological over physical. Now again, most guys, when they want to become good in bed, they look for techniques, right? They look for things they can do. They look for angles. They look for positions. There's a big emphasis on what you're doing physically because it's real easy to see, real easy to understand. Okay? Not too many people think about what you're doing psychologically. However, what you're doing psychologically in bed is actually much more important than what you're doing physically. Okay? The reason why we crave sex so much is because of the psychological portion of it. Alright? Now, let me ask you guys a question. There's like sex toys out there, there's like the fleshlight, you know, there's all that kind of stuff that can replicate the feeling of a vagina almost exactly. Okay? And you can buy these for what, like 30 bucks. So why are we here? Why do we spend so much effort to get sex when we can reproduce a physical feeling almost exactly? All right, and the reason is because of the psychological element. All right? Psychological stimulation is the difference between jerking off and having sex with a beautiful woman. Okay? Now, psychological stimulation is really important for us. But for women, it's much more important. All right? So, one thing that you should always keep in mind when you're trying to improve in bed is to improve the ways that you're stimulating her psychologically. There's really only so much you can do physically, okay? I'd say physically you should aim for a competency. Psychologically, you should aim for a mastery. Second principle, the importance of dominance. Now, this is, again, something that you won't see in the mainstream. You buy sex books, you see a lot of like techniques, you see a lot of things you do, but you don't see how important it is to be dominant in bed. Alright? Now everybody tells you have the social conditioning. Right? Women wants a man who respects them in bed. Right? Women want to make love, men want to fuck. Right? We've all heard this. So it's all social conditioning. You'll never hear how much a woman wants to be dominated from her. Okay? Because she can't tell you that. If she's like ordering you to be dominant in itself, like you're not dominant anymore because you're doing what she orders you to do. She can never tell you about this, and sometimes she's not even consciously aware of it herself. Alright? But nevertheless, women will always crave dominance. Without dominance, there's no sexual satisfaction. Your nature as a man is to be dominant. Her nature as a female is to be submissive. Third principle. Sex is the ultimate method of attraction. Now, your social skills are important, okay? Obviously, if you've never had sex with a girl, you can't create attraction directly through sex. However, people ask me, what's key to your relationship game? Alright? I have 4 girlfriends right now, so they ask me, how do you do that? How do you maintain 4 girlfriends? How do you have them all be happy with you at the same time? And they think there's some like tricks I'm playing that do this. I'm telling you, this is my tricks right here, okay? Sex. This is the answer to your relationship game. If you're good in bed, again, you're the highest, being good in bed is the highest value that you can possibly have. Alright? Now, if you want a situation with multiple girlfriends, it's really essential that you be the best guy in bed that she's ever had. Because a girl, I mean, if she loves you, if she's like really into you, she's going to want you all for herself. If you guys want a situation with multiple girlfriends, it's real essential that you be good in bed. Because otherwise, why wouldn't she just leave you for another guy? Okay? The powerful attraction you can create through sex will lead you to do incredible things in your relationship life. Alright, what's the normal male-female dynamic? You have to buy her stuff in exchange for her having sex with you. Alright. What we want to do, one of the big things that we teach at The Approach is sexual power reversal. Alright? Total reversal of the normal male-female dynamic. Instead of you having to work really hard, right? Instead of you like having the game, put effort in, buy her things. Instead of you having to do all this stuff to have sex with her, she will now be doing all this stuff to have sex with you. Alright? I don't know how many of you guys have read my recent lay report? Okay, you can see that you don't have to buy women things in order to get them to have sex with you. Alright? At the highest levels, they'll be buying you things. How many of you guys, have you guys ever met Woodhaven? Vincent?
I'll be speaking
Next month. All right. But anyways, one of his girlfriends is actually a millionaire right now. All right. And she buys him insane amounts of things. Like, you wouldn't believe. She takes him on vacations, right? She, like, lets him stay in her fucking mansion all the time. Like, I've stayed there. It's amazing. I remember this one time they were on this vacation together. She just straight up gives him cash, okay? Just straight up gives him cash. Total reversal of the normal male-female dynamic. All right? If you want to do this, you need great sex. Fourth principle. Sex is the ultimate way of building inner game. All right, I touched on this a little bit before. When you're talking to a woman, all right, you have to know, like, on a deep core level, why she would genuinely be lucky to be with you. All right? If you don't know this, then you have no inner game. You need to know this on a deep core level, why she would be genuinely lucky to be with you. All right? And again, you can, like, say, like, okay, she would be lucky to be with me because I have a good reality or, like, this or that or whatever, like, vague thing. I find that the best way to think about this in your head is to know that if this woman is with me, she'll experience pleasure like she never has before. Okay? I can take her to the heights of orgasm that she's never experienced before. If you can know that on a core level, then you're not going to be giving your power away. Right? You're not going to be needy. You're not going to be desperate. On the flip side, you won't overcompensate and do things out of, like, neediness or desperation that are, like, overgaming. All right? So, sex is the ultimate way of building inner game. You guys have any questions about 4 principles?
I do. So you good in bed is the highest value you can have.
Yeah.
You back that up?
Okay.
What were you saying?
All right. Yeah, that's a real good question, actually. The question was, being good in bed is the highest value you can have. Can you back that up? The answer to that is, you have to realize, again, this is social conditioning. We're conditioned to say that women want, like, things, right? Women want, like, love and affection and dates and gifts and this and that. And men want sex. All right? Actually, it's the total opposite. Women are much more sexual than men. All right? I'm sure you've heard, like, when was the last time, like, in bed you went, like, screaming and, like, you know, clawing your girl's back out and, like, going nuts. All right? If you've ever seen a woman, like, having an orgasm, it's a fucking traumatic, like, ridiculous thing. All right? Women can have, like, more orgasms than us, too. They can have different kinds of orgasms. All right? They can have, like, multiple orgasms over and over and over again. Only women can achieve the continuous orgasmic state. All the sexual pleasure that we feel pales in comparison to theirs. All right? Women are much more sexual than us. So because of that, I feel that sex is the highest value you can have to a woman.
Do you not buy into this?
No,
I'm
I'm just
buying
getting
it.
a little turned on by all this.
No, seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Why? So what he's saying is for real, is the real deal.
Everything he's saying, I mean, it's pretty awesome.